Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SE Talk. Bei mir David Suda, TerraX, und ich habe einen Conflict of Interest. Ich bin Aktionär und warum mir die Aktie gefällt, ist ganz einfach. Sie haben eigentlich einen District Play, sehr gute Infrastruktur, District Play, und gerade in einem Markt, der sich jetzt anfängt wirklich zu laufen, sind das die Companies, die extrem gut laufen, und am Ende dieses Prozesses steht meistens dann irgendwer, der die Company schluckt. Und ja, mit dem kann ich mich anfreunden. Die Aktie steht relativ tief. Das heißt, für mich ist das Thema, wann kaufe ich nach? David, I said in my German introduction that first I have a conflict of interest. Second is that I believe strongly in the story. Then you have, from my point of view, a district play. And in this environment, what we have, so that we see the first lights on the end of a tunnel, that the market is now going in much better direction. This is exactly the kind of companies where the big ones looking for, and I would not really surprised if somebody on the end of the process, when we're going along this hopefully next bull market, normally these kind of companies are not long existent. They're bought out by some big ones. I hope I don't fear you that in the end of them means that maybe you lose your job, but then you're doing a good job when you bring the company of a higher valuation and a higher, bigger resource, and yeah, that's the part of the game normally, that somebody comes and take out some of the exploration companies.
I'm smiling because, first of all, you mentioned that we're coming to some light at the end of a long and very dark tunnel. And I'm very happy that you've been so supportive of TerraX and for the support of all of our shareholders, because the tunnel has been indeed long and dark, and our share price on our previous interview we talked about has not been what any of us would like it to be. No. I'm a disgruntled shareholder. Only I can separate myself from the other disgruntled shareholders because I have an opportunity to do something about it. I told you last time when we had an interview that we had some plans to do things about it. And so to answer your question about whether or not we see a prospect of selling our company, I agree with you that the environment is certainly creating that type of an opportunity. But one of the things that we've done, and we've done very much on purpose, is to make sure we didn't have to go around telling people that we would be selling this company. We brought Gerald Paneton onto our team. He is the founder of Detour Gold, which was, there was an offer made for the acquisition of Detour Gold by Kirkland Lake for nearly $5 billion. So this is a guy who knows how to create value. He bought that asset, IPO'd it, and then took it from, he raised $2.6 billion and took it from a very small resource to what ultimately became one of Canada's largest mines. He brought with him to our company Louis Dion, who has been a very good mining engineer. He operated mines, built mines for Barrick, and together with Gerald, he also helped to build the Detour Lake mine. So I bring that up in response to your comment that yes, ultimately TerraX may be sold, but we also want to send a message to the market and to any of our suitors that we're building a team that could build it as well. And it's not our choice whether we sell it or build it. It's going to be the choice of the shareholders, because we're really here to create value. And
to be honest, now I think that would be the worst for a shareholder when somebody comes and buy the TerraX. The company is much undervalued. The project has enormous potential from my point of view, and this is now a steal if somebody comes. And so But along the road, I say 2-3 years from now, different resources, different market.
Absolutely. No, I just wanted to.
It's sometimes a question of the price.
I wanted to use your statement as an opportunity to say that we've done a lot to change or to add to our team. Joe Campbell is still very much involved in the project. He's running all of our technical programs. He's the COO now. Mm-hmm. And, Joe will continue to move the project forward. And now he can do it from a position where we also have a resource. Mm-hmm. This is something that the company has not been able to deliver for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so there are shareholders who were tired because they weren't seeing progress. Mm-hmm. And we put out a resource that was perhaps a smaller resource than some people had thought or than we had promised. But since I've been involved with the project, I only ever said that we would come out with a resource sort of in the second half of 2020. But then we had to change our plan because we were trying to attract the support of some additional shareholders who asked us, for a resource. They said they could not invest in TerraX if we didn't have a resource. These are long-term partners that we wanted to bring on to make sure that we are able to stay funded. Mm-hmm. And as we go through better markets, hopefully, we can demonstrate a very clear plan to adding ounces to this resource. So although we came out with it a bit early, now I can demonstrate to shareholders, I can put a long section with pit shells that shows that if we drill a hole here and we drill a hole there, that we're going to be adding ounces into these pit shells. It's mineralization that we know is there. It's mineralization that we can talk about publicly as opposed to before without having a 43-101 resource. We couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. And you have now also the cash to can starting with drilling.
Perfect statement as well. We do. We have enough cash to fund a drill program this winter, which is going to be comprised of about 10,000 meters. Mm-hmm. We started drilling 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. We have a news release that's just out. It details what we're going to be doing, but for the information of you and our audience, it's going to be at our Sam Auto target. Mm-hmm. We're there because in the winter it is the best way to drill this target. We can drill from the ice. Okay. We don't need to use helicopters, so it's more cost effective. And now that we have our resource out, we've done the studies, we see where we need to drill, where we can add ounces. This is not a program that's just designed to add ounces to the resource. It's also to make the target bigger and to close some gaps where we don't really yet have data on mineralization. But given the fact that this target is a bulk tonnage target, it's a disseminated sulfide target, we know that we have a very good chance to add ounces and to make the target bigger. So we are very much looking forward to releasing news of these drill results. The program will finish in April, and we expect to have rolling drill results starting in approximately 6 weeks. Mm-hmm.
After this campaign, do you planning for 2020 other campaign too?
Yes, in July we'll go back to Crastorum, which is our high-grade target, as you know, and we'll start working there again to really sort of determine just how big that target could be, and also again to put more ounces on the table. Mm-hmm. We obviously are currently focused on Sam Auto, but we will be excited to come back in the spring to give more details on targeting and our drill plans for the summer.
Mm-hmm. To summarize a little bit, so in the last few months and quarters, you're working in this direction that you have a resource, that it's easier then to raise money, and with the money you can expand the resource. That's point one. And point two is that you are working on the strength of the board, so that you bring new people in on the board to help you to create the right, also awareness, I must say, on the market. Then from my point of view, TerraX is at the moment absolutely underrated.
I feel absolutely the same way. I've been with TerraX for over 1.5 years, and done a lot of work. It's been challenging at times because I feel that we haven't been able to be rewarded by the market. But now our share price is grossly undervalued given where we sit and the opportunity that we put forth.
Last question. In the beginning, I talked about light on the end on the tunnels. What is your feeling about the market now? The conference itself was, for me, very surprising, in a positive way. Do you see it also that you feel now in the town, it's some movements here, some better momentum, sentiment is better, or is it only, was only luck?
No question, I echo your sentiments with regards to the energy at this conference, which the two conferences that we've participated here in Vancouver this week. I also, I'm getting a lot of incoming calls now. Mm-hmm. It's not as hard to convince people to hear our story. People are calling us to ask about our story. There's, all kinds of interest. I feel it. It's palpable. There's momentum. And I think because this is a theme and it's been talked about throughout, the cannabis trade was viewed as a reason why there was, wasn't money flowing into the resource sector. Mm-hmm. And I've never complained about that. I've never said to you in an interview that I agree that's what our problem is. Mm-hmm. But to those people who thought that might be the case, we're in a situation now then where certainly if you believe that, then a sector that's now, not as hot as it was, is there are eyes turning away from it to mining. There's no question. There's no question in my mind about that. We've got a rising gold price, and all the I'm not going to sit here and play economist, but we can all agree you can just turn on the news and there's going to be an opportunity for people to hear why the gold price is going to be going higher. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of agreement on that, and I think it's just a matter of time, as you said before, this spark actually creates real momentum, and I'm really looking forward to that to be the case.
Yeah, it was a long time, so it's time for a new bull market.
And at TerraX, our timing is, we're fortunate because, we're ready now for that.
And the good thing is that you're now coming up really with drill results. And when we have really a good environment of the market, good sentiment, then you get rewarded by the numbers. And a lot of companies don't have the money to can drill something.
That's right. So we've been very fortunate to be able to be in a position now to be cashed up for drilling at this moment in time. So thanks very much for your comments and your questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David, for the interview, for the update. Ja. Meines Erachtens tut sich extrem viel. Sie haben jetzt einige Sachen wirklich richtig gemacht. Erstens mal Management-Team verstärkt, damit man auch bekannte Namen reinbringt, die auch am Markt extrem, also zumindest bei den Insidern, weiß man genau, was die tun, und wenn sie was tun, machen sie es richtig. Das war das Erste. Das Zweite ist natürlich, sie haben eine Ressource rausgebracht. Mit der Ressource ist ja jetzt einmal ein Anfang. Man darf sich jetzt nicht zu viel erwarten, oder hat man sich nicht zu viel erwarten dürfen von dieser Ressource. Aber sie haben jetzt damit auch genug Geld aufgenommen und geraisen können, um das weiter zu bohren. Das heißt, er hat ja auch vorher gesagt, es wird wahrscheinlich dann ein jährliches Update der Ressource geben. Und dadurch sieht man den Progress nach vorne. Was für mich noch viel wichtiger ist eigentlich, außer dass man jetzt den Zugang hat zum Kapital und auch wer da investiert hat, war ja ein Bot-Deal, ist, dass sie zur richtigen Zeit mit Ergebnissen kommen. Wenn dieses Sentiment jetzt anfängt zu laufen, wenn der Markt jetzt anfängt zu laufen durch das positive Momentum, Sentiment, was man kreiert, dann brauchen die Aktien Newsflow. Und den Newsflow kriege ich nur dann zusammen, wenn ich natürlich Geld habe und irgendwas entwickeln kann oder akquiriere oder sonst irgendwas. Und die haben genau jetzt das richtige Umfeld. Sie haben ein neues Management-Team, sie haben eine Ressource, sie haben Geld und damit können sie Newsflow generieren übers Bohren. Und in 6 Wochen, hat er gesagt, werden sie mit den ersten News starten, weil vor 2 Tagen das Bohrprogramm gestartet hat. So, also das könnte ein perfekter Szenarium sein für eine sehr, sehr gute Performance, zumindest in diesem Jahr, wenn der Markt dementsprechend auch anfängt zum Laufen. Ja, das war's von TerraX Jänner 2020 Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you very much.